What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload videos every single day. Now, we got our first powerhouse matchup of the college football season. I ain't talking about all them other games like Miami and Clemson was supposed to be a powerhouse matchup. It was a battle of top 10 schools. We knew Clemson would wipe the floor with Miami like they did. And I ain't talking about up-and-coming teams like Tennessee taking on Georgia or Florida's supposed to be good. No, man, those teams, you got to prove it before you get a chance to tell me you're good. But these two teams have proved that they're pretty damn good over the course of several years. And that is the Alabama Crimson Tide, led by Nick Saban, or supposed to be led by Nick Saban. He's got COVID, and that's what we're talking about tonight or today. And Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, they will face off this weekend, college football. It's a primetime matchup, and it is one I'm here to talk about because Nick Saban, as I said, has COVID. Nick Saban has tested positive for the coronavirus, so he will have to coach this game remote. He will coach the game remote against Georgia, and he won't be in the building. And so now the question is, how many points is Nick Saban worth not being at the game? Like, how valuable is the head coach when he's having to coach through Zoom and not actually be there, whether it's in practice? For Nick Saban, it's practice in the game. Because that's what that is. To me, it's kind of significant, right? Like, to me, it's kind of like, all right, Steve Sarkisian is cool. He's a good offense coordinator. He's proven. But we've seen Steve Sarkisian as a head coach. We haven't seen him as the head coach of Alabama. It's different. It's a lot different. But we've seen him as a head coach. He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. At USC, he had a lot of talent. He had a whole lot of talent at USC. It wasn't that good. And so, although that was several years ago, and this is Alabama, now USC had a lot of talent. They ain't have Alabama talent. But how much is Nick Saban worth? It is the coaching advantage now on Georgia's side because Kirby Smart's proven he can coach, he can recruit, he can win big-time ball games. But is it now on their side even just because Nick Saban isn't there physically? And I'd like to say yes. I think Nick Saban is worth 3 points. That don't sound like a lot. But in a game that might be 41-38, the way these two schools are scoring points, the way these two schools can't stop a nosebleed, can't stop anything as far as defense goes, I think 3 points matters a whole lot. And so the coaching advantage now goes to Georgia and Kirby Smart. Now, the problem I think Georgia will run into, first of all, Georgia has a real defense. And that's Alabama hasn't played a team with a real defense yet. And Alabama, I don't know if they have a real defense. They have a lot of defensive names. A lot of guys I think will go in the first round of the NFL draft, and Patrick Surtain the second, and Dylan Moses, and probably a couple guys up front of their defensive line. I don't know why. I'm looking at them play Ole Miss last week, and I don't know why they would. But if I go to mock drafts right now on my computer, I'm going to see Alabama names, Alabama defenders on their first round mock draft. So, how many points did Alabama give up last week? Alabama gave up, I'm going to look at their score. Because last week against Ole Miss, they gave up a whole lot of points. A whole lot of points. They gave up 48 points. They won this game 63-48. Najee Harris had 5 touchdowns and over 200 yards rushing. You ain't scoring 63 points on Georgia. That's just not possible. I just don't see that happening. I do think this could be a 41-38 game because Georgia's got some dogs on their offense. Now, the advantage that Alabama has is they have better weapons, slightly better, but I think it's just slightly because the Jackson kid over at Georgia and the stable of running backs with Zamir White and boys over there at Georgia are good. But I think Alabama with Waddle, with Smith, with Michie, and with Najee Harris in the backfield, that just takes the cake. There's nobody with a better offensive repertoire than Alabama right now. Not that I've seen. I think Trevor Lawrence and ETN are elite. I think they're more elite than the guys at Alabama as far as quarterback, running back goes. But as far as all those weapons, Michie, Waddle, Devontae Smith, and Najee Harris, Ain't nobody messing with Bama. The thing is, I think right now Mac Jones is a better player than Stetson Bennett. I think Mac Jones is a better player than Stetson Bennett, and that's why I give Alabama the advantage. That's where I give the Alabama the advantage in that case. When they have Nick Saban. But not having Nick Saban makes a difference in a 41-38 game, which I would have predicted if Saban was in the building. I would have said Alabama wins this game 41-38. But without Saban, I am inclined to go with Georgia. I am inclined to flip that, to go 41-38 Bulldogs. That matters because coaching matters. And not having Nick Saban be able to make the final call or have to try to make the final call over Zoom or over a cell phone or over FaceTime or whatever matters. That's going to matter. I don't talk about college football a lot on this channel, but with this is the main primetime matchup. We have what? Number 2 versus number 3? I had to come on here and talk about this because I do love me some college football. But I'm going to pick the Georgia Bulldogs, 41-38 over Alabama. And the biggest reason is because Saban has COVID and won't be in attendance at the game. We'll have to work the game remotely. And I think that's going to matter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do think Alabama has more weapons. And if they win this game, I won't be surprised. If they win by blowout, I will be. If they win this game, I won't be surprised. But I'm choosing Georgia right here on wax. And that's what it is. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network, and I'll see you guys next time.